All right, so the lawsuit with NAR is finally behind us. We can start looking at what are the statements of the facts that are coming out. What is going to change in our industry? So in this quick video, we're going to go through. We're going to break it down to 5 different areas that are coming out, changes in our industry. What are the effects of NAR? Who are the winners and losers in this lawsuit? And how are we going to move forward as real estate agents in this new world of real estate? So let's break this down. So there's 5 different categories in NAR. NAR released this statement of the facts. I'm gonna upload this onto our real estate website and kind of go over the facts and how this is going to affect you as a real estate agent in the business moving forward. So number 1 is, who does this affect? So with NAR, the settlement is going to include, it's going to release liability of over 1 million members. So if you are a part of a real estate brokerage that did less than $2 billion in volume in 2022, then you are included and released from liability from this lawsuit. So good news, release of liability is something that's awesome. The changes that are going to come to, the major change that's coming to real estate agents is the off MLS compensation agreement. So out of this lawsuit, they're going to be removing buyer agency compensation from the MLS. So it's really important that you understand that the MLS will no longer, as of July of this year, 2024, will no longer have buyer agency compensation. Now, NAR didn't go out there and say, look, buyer agents are not going to be paid in this transaction. It's just not going to be included in the MLS. So they also said there's other ways that you can make compensation. There's multiple different ways you can. This can be fixed fee compensation directly from the consumer. You can get concessions from the seller and a portion, or you can get a portion of the listing broker's compensation. Okay, so there's a lot of different ways. It's just not going to be on the MLS. I know a lot of real estate agents are really having a hard time with it not being on the MLS. However, it's still going to be part of the negotiation. Sellers are still going to be looking at the benefit or the net walk away on every transaction. So you just got to remember, we're still going to be negotiating compensation. It's just not going to be on the MLS. Next rule is something that's we're pretty familiar with in our local MLS, the written rule. So inside of the MLS, the NAR settlement states that buyer agency compensation agreements are going to be required to be with buyers. Now, it's majority of my business has been in Maryland, and for as long as I can remember, buyer agency compensation agreements, as far as I can remember back, have always been part of the transaction. So it's not something new, but it's something that you're going to take a little bit more serious, because your compensation is going to be determined through how that agreement is written with your client. And it always has been, but now since compensation is not listed on the MLS, you have to make sure you have a compensation agreement with your buyer. Next is the settlement on this. So NAR is going to be, fined $418 million over. It's going to be paid out over 4 years. NAR has released that they're not going to be doing any kind of assessments or increasing fees in 2024. So they make that statement that that fees and assessments will be applied in 2025. When we break this down, I mean, how much is a fee assessment going to be? NAR is getting hit with $418 million. Are you going to get $100, $200 assessment next year to help with the lawsuit? Moving forward, are members going to stay with NAR? Is NAR going to lose a lot of memberships? Those are all things that time will tell. We don't have answers to those right now, but we're going to find out over the next year or so is, how is this going to affect NAR? And is NAR going to be fighting to make changes out of this lawsuit that are going to help us or hurt us as an industry? So, some of the things that we hear, rumors that we hear floating around, is that NAR is working with Fannie and Freddie, and they're going to come out with programs that help compensate buyers agents through, mortgage programs. So mortgage programs would be able to finance in the buyer agency compensation. So, that would be a win for us. And I think that would help us, as a lot of real estate agents seeing the value back into NAR, as they start putting things in place with these new changes to help us grow our business and sustain our business moving forward. So these changes are all going to come out. This is all subject to approval with the court. So, we're still waiting for court approval. All parties have agreed to the terms. Most likely all this is going to go in effect in July of 2024. But this is not the time to wait till July to start implementing a lot of these changes. Start working towards these changes now. It's really important that you start, as an agent, start putting a lot of value into your business and start working those agency agreements as if there is no compensation on the MLS. So as agents, you need to start learning about how you're going to utilize a buyer agency agreement to protect your business. Now, we look at the winners and losers in this case. Some winners, some losers. I'm going to highlight some of the winners and losers that I feel personally out of this transaction. I mean, one that's not being really talked about is the real winners in this case. I really believe are the attorneys. The attorneys are seeking hundreds of millions of dollars that are going to pass along based on the amount of homeowners in this lawsuit. It's going to be pennies that are passed along. Are the homeowners in this case going to feel really satisfied with the amount of money that they're receiving out of this versus the changes that are coming into our industry? So real winners here, the lawyers. I think the other winners here are going to be, new home construction builders, not having to offer any kind of compensation to buyers over the years. We've already seen where new home construction was kind of suppressing commissions anyways. And I think this is only going to help their case of saying that we really don't want to work with realtors. So you may see commissions being suppressed in new home construction. Investor, buyer, and sellers. I think this helps investor, buyer, and sellers. I mean, they're looking at the net bottom. How can I buy homes for cheaper? And how can I sell homes for cheaper? I think this would help a lot of investors. So I look at them as being like the big winners. The other big winner that I feel that's going to be out of this is your high producing real estate agents that have large database of clients. They work their sphere, they work their markets, they got a good brand presence in their local markets. I think a lot of these real estate agents are really going to, their business is going to boom as a lot of realtors leave the business. I mean, the market is still going to sell real estate. I mean, we're averaging 5 million homes sold annually in the US. We're going to continue, and we're already projecting that 2024 going into 2025, we're going to maintain those numbers. So if there's less realtors in the state of Maryland, we have 30,000 realtors. If 30,000 realtors goes down to 20 or below 20,000 realtors, and we're still selling the same amount of real estate, that means somebody's selling that real estate. So it opens an opportunity for agents that are high producing, work in their database, are really knowledgeable about the market, have very good systems and processes in place. I think they're going to really see that this is going to help them grow their business. Now, losers in this situation. Losers, I kind of look at the homeowners that may be thinking that they're getting a lot of money out of this lawsuit and find out that they're not really getting that much money from the lawsuit, the settlement. I think that's going to be one of the losers. The other one's the new home buyers or buyers that are looking to buy a home and just don't have a lot of money saved. There's going to be situations where the seller is just not going to compensate a buyer agent commission. For years in our MLS, compensation could be as low as a penny, and recently this past year they reduced the penny down to $0. So there's always been the option to have a very reduced buyer agent's compensation. But I think this lawsuit is now highlighting it a little bit more. So you're going to have some buyers out there that are going to have to pay their agent directly. And a first-time home buyer it's going to be finding it a little difficult when they're trying to save up the money for down payment, but also paying their real estate agent. It's going to be very difficult. So I look at that as being one of the challenges for new home buyers. If there's programs that are coming out, Fannie and Freddie are going to be coming out with programs that are going to help new buyers. I think that's going to help in a lot of situations where they can finance in, but still have that representation that they need in order to guide them properly through the real estate transaction. The other loser out of the situation, I think, is going to be a lot of these real estate agents are going to be missing opportunities. There's a lot of real estate agents that, we can all agree as an industry, there's probably a lot of realtors that shouldn't be in the industry and may be pushed out because of, this lawsuit that, are going to change careers, and it leaves an opportunity for more real estate agents to build a career. But I think a lot of real estate agents that really want to be in this industry, what would be good for this industry, are also going to be pushed out too, because it's not going to be as easy to build your business from ground up, with the changes that are being applied to our industry. So you're going to see a lot less as we become more of a professionals industry. Low producing agents that don't have a big database, that don't really work on their skill set, that don't really add value into the business, are also going to find that they're going to have a lot of difficulty being able to grow a business that can financially support themselves. So low producing agents are going to find it harder to grow in the business and may find their way, out of the business moving forward. But how are realtors going to survive moving forward? We look at the, market trends. Things are trending in the right direction as far as a good market. We're anticipating mortgage rates dropping this year. We're going to have a lot of challenges with working with buyers to help them understand the buyer agency compensation, how it works. And it's a new world. I feel like real estate agents are going to have to come together working with the listing agents to help our industry in maintaining that relationship, that buyer and seller, buyer agent, listing agent camaraderie, that we work together as a group to make this industry better. There's going to be companies that come out there and they're going to create all these strategies and these niches and, flat fee, low fee, buyer agency compensation, but it always boils down to it's based on the quality of business or service that you're getting. Typically, low discounted type agency gets low service. And, this is going to be a professional service industry where agents are going to have to really work on their value, going to have to work on their skill set. And I think moving forward, the agents that are going to put the time in, grow a database, grow their skill set, stay up on the market trends, and really honestly take their clients through the process as if they were in their shoes and help them through the process, are going to find themselves that the end of the rainbow on this thing is going to be a pot of gold, and it's going to help you grow your business. You're going to see the advantages of having value in your business. So as much as we digest this, I'll be sending out more videos on the NAR lawsuit. I just want to get you the highlights of what's going on. But I really believe that the things that real estate agents need to do is start working on your business as if these changes were now in the market. Work with clients as if there's no compensation on the MLS right now. If you're a buyer's agent, start putting a plan, start putting strategies in place that are going to help you grow your business.